Right, your A2 CofC that you've just done, or do you have a GVC? Which one do you need to work commercially? Which one wins? Well, we're just going to quickly look at it, and if we can pretend that this is looking down at a top view from, say, Google Maps, and let's say you've been tasked with doing this roof inspection here. Okay, so this roof is your task. It's an industrial unit, but it's in a commercial area. Now, if you've got an A2 CofC and a Phantom 4 Pro, okay, so you've got Phantom 4 Pro, the problem is, all of a sudden, right, when the Phantom 4 Pro is in the air, okay, your niggle is, the blue lines are roads, not to scale, but blue lines are all the roads, okay, and all the black squares are houses, the green bits are the gardens. The problem is, with the Phantom 4 Pro, for example, or the Mavic 2 Pro, or the Mavic Air 2, the cylinder that you're flying in is 100 metres across, okay? So I've done it as there's 10 metres between the road and the house here, 10 metres here, 10 metres here, that's 30 metres. And that's only one way so far. You know, if you were to say that 50 metres, 10, 20, 30, let's say 50 metres is here, you have to control everything. Plus, whatever on this side, 50 metres, whatever's on this side at 50 metres, whatever is this side 50 metres. Okay? Because it's horizontal separation. These roads, if a car suddenly comes along this road, okay, it's encroached in that bubble, that's no good. So this is why the A2 CofC with a Phantom 4 Pro or a Mavic 2 Pro doesn't win. Okay, it just doesn't. Now, let's do it with a PFCO-GVC-standard authorization or operational authorization, whatever you want to call it. The important bit for you now is you need 30 metres. And you have to control the area, and again it's 30 metres around the aircraft, okay? Now, it could be that there's more yard this way, there's no more houses but there's a big yard, even this way. Even with an A2, because of it's a horizontal buffer, you can't come this way. But with the GVC, or the standard authorisation, or operational authorisation, if you can get 30 metres, okay, away from everything, so let's say just here in the middle here, if you take off from here, you've got 30 metres takeoff all around you, for example, not to scale. If you was to go up to 55 metres or 52 metres, but we'll say 54 metres, we're going to go straight up and you overfly the building now, and you overfly in a nice pattern. So you'll take off, you'll go up to 54 metres, okay? You can then fly here all the way, you can do your mapping like this and do your roof inspection like that, okay? And that's because it's a bubble around the aircraft with the GVC. It's actually a bubble around buildings, but if we say aircraft, it's easier for everyone. And that's how you can do that roof inspection, okay, on that big commercial unit. However, if you wanted to do a house in the middle of this lot, it's a little bit trickier. Because even with the GVC, if you was taking off from someone's back garden just here, you would have to somehow control all the houses here within that bubble, and it's 60 metres by the way, because it's 30 metres in every direction. So it's 30 metres, so it's everything. It's going to be all around, and it can be quite tricky, okay? Now, if you've got an operational safety case, which is reduced distances, which is extra money to the CAA, but you can get that down to 5 metres or 10 metres typically. And if you only have to control 10 metres, all of a sudden, controlling this one house here with an OSC, that's where the OSC wins, okay? But that is the cut and short of using it. Where the A2 CofC does win is if you've got a sub 500 grams drone. So now sub 500 grams, it's even better. You can do any one of these properties Okay, it doesn't matter which one, you can do all of them with a sub 500 gram drone. As long as you don't go overflying this road, for example, or anyone on the footpath, that is a legal flight. Okay, and that's the basics of the A2 CofC versus GVC. The A2 only wins with sub 500 grams. When you can do your 5 metre reduction with a slow speed mode. So you could be doing this house here, and you're doing a slow speed mode, and you've got it, select it. Only on C2 marked aircraft, if they appear. If you're fine, as long as you don't go over the distance, you're okay. So the house is actually tricky. So even if you wanted to do the front of the house, and the front of the house is 5 metres from that road, okay, but you have to go 8 metres high to be able to clear the house, you've got a problem with this footpath now. So you've become a problem there with the footpath and cars that are on it. If you're trying to do the front of a house and it's too close to the road, okay, that's when you get a problem with even a C2 aircraft, okay. But that's it, that's the basics of what you can and cannot do, okay. If that makes any sense at all. I don't know if it does. But that's your GVC A2 CofC wrapped up very quickly into a little bubble. Okay guys, fly safe.